Belize Watch. Knowledge of the past, impacting the present, building the future.
Cameron Tillett is a young filmmaker who resides in the city of Belmopan. He received an award during the 2021 Belize International Film Festival. Our Belize Watch team got the opportunity to speak with him. He shared how he got interested in filmmaking. We will have that discussion after we hear from our partners, Shell Belize Limited, Honorable Kevin Bernard, the Barry, and the Belize Tourism Board.
In Orange Walk East, we are serious about serving our people. In Santa Marta, we have renovated and upgraded the community park, handed over equipment to maintain the park and cemetery, provided lights to the football field, support sports in the village, conducted maintenance of the water system, and carried out a continuous upgrading of the village roads. Honorable Kevin Bernard and the PUP committed to the people of Orange Walk East, delivering on Plan Belize.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Belize.
Shell V-Power with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
This no right. Garbage in the streets, creating dump sites, throwing a trash on the highway. We not fit do that. Only we could stop this. Each of we play an important part in protecting our beautiful country. This that we believe. Respect it, cherish it, love it.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You that you and me that me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
I'm with Cameron Tillett, and Cameron is a filmmaker and a rotaractor, and I guess many other things, and a very young man indeed. Cameron, thanks for agreeing to talk to us. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you in your home. But I usually like to start these shows, right, by getting to know who I'm talking to. Just tell me who is Cameron Tillett.
Sorry. So my name is Cameron Tillett. I am 24 years old, and I am a Belmopan native, Belizean film director, writer, actor if I have to, and amateur animator, I would say.
Okay. So you are in the entertainment industry, basically, so to speak, right? You're making films and animation and that sort of thing. Well, Cameron, let's get to you. You are proud resident of Belmopan, right?
Yes.
What was it like growing up for you in Belmopan?
Actually, I didn't grow up in Belmopan. I grew up in the U.S., in New Jersey, and over there, we stayed inside because, of course, we were immigrants. We didn't really know much people, so we stayed inside, and it was just me and my siblings and my parents. And so on most days, we would have to spend time entertaining ourselves with something. And so me and my brothers and sister were we would make up stories, we would play, and that's just how the creativity formed, and it's something that we never let go of.
How old were you when you realized that this is what you wanted to do, that you would have enjoyed the filmmaking um, and writing?
Uh, I would say, interestingly enough, it's something that I always kept. I always knew that I wanted to do something like this, but I just felt like it wasn't possible. And it wasn't until I would say, being around 17 years old, there was a showing of of a Belizean film at our university, and I went to go see it. And when I wanted to speak to people afterwards, and the director told me that there was actually a film festival here in Belize, and that it was going to be in a few weeks, and she invited me to come over and check it out. And they had workshops and a bunch of films, showcased, and it was such an incredible experience to see that there was so many people in the country that share the same interest with you, and there are people that are actually living the life and being able to produce and create these stories. And that's when I realized that the impossible is actually possible.
Okay, just to establish a bit of clarity here, you grew up in New Jersey, right? You heard about the film festival in Belize. Did you hear about it in Belize or in New Jersey? Did you come to Belize for the film festival? How did that work out?
Okay, sorry. So just to clarify, so yes, I grew up in the U.S. I came back when I was about 10 years old. So it was all these things that we were doing back then that I brought back home, basically. So I lived in Belize ever since. I'm still living in Belize, and so when I entered the University of Belize, and I saw people were actually studying film and actually doing these things, that's when I was really inspired to do it myself.
So, looking at your timeline, you were taken to the United. You were born in Belize or born in the
I
United
was
States?
born in Belize, a proud Belizean.
Okay, so you're a proud Belizean, born in Belize, taken to the United States in Belmopan, right? And in the same house?
No.
You're a proud Belizean, born in Belize, taken to the United States of America, brought back, and you came back to Belize when you were 10 years old, right? Went to University of Belize. Am I getting it correct?
Yes.
I'm doing good so far.
Yes, you're doing well.
Went to the University of Belize, and at the University of Belize, you heard about the film festival, right? And you take it from there.
Yeah, so I learned about that when I was at the University of Belize. I learned about the film festival, and I've actually been going ever since. Ever since that, I was about 17 or 18 when I found out about it, and so 17 to now, all these years I've been working in the film industry, just trying to get my story told, getting to make stories, and hopefully see them on the big screen.
Now, what was it like when you made your first film? How old were you when you made that first attempt?
So the first film I did was, it's not good. It's not good.
That's the name of it?
No. So the first film that I did was for a competition that Colorblind Productions were doing. I would have probably been about 18 or 19, and it was just a case of inexperience, I think. I had a huge idea, and I realized that these huge ideas need money to fund them. And so when you realize there are some things you can't do, you have to cut back, and then time, just became one. It was a mess, but we had fun doing it. I would say that's the bright side. We had a lot of fun. But yeah, it taught us a lot too about how to create stories and how to budget them properly in a way where you can still get them told, create these magical stories without having to break your wallet.
What was the story all about?
Wow, it was such a long time.
Story.
It was such a long time ago. It was actually, it was a sport. It was a sports. It was supposed to be a sports drama. If I remember clearly, that year I don't know if you remember that year, it was the Belize, the female volleyball team had beaten Guatemala in a game. I think it was to become. It was for a national. It was for a national tournament, but that game itself was so fierce, right? It was filled with drama. It was because it was they were neck and neck basically, and we ended up winning. And so I wanted to tell a story about that and just try to capture how the audience felt during the moment, how I felt watching that on the television screen, and just being proud of to be a Belizean when we won. But of course, that would have been such a bigger budget. So I ended up making a story about with my friends about they were basketball players. So I ended up making a story about them playing basketball against each other.
Okay, that was the first.
So that was the first one. That was the first story I ever made with a camera and crew.
What was the feeling like when you did it? A feeling of accomplishment of okay, I'm getting to my closer to my goal. What was that feeling?
Yeah, to be able to to capture this thing with this device and then edit them in a way where the story is told and you can understand it completely. It's actually really rewarding to see what all the hard work does, and it's also very cool to see. It's cool to show people it and to show especially the actors, and they see it and they go, "Oh, that was me. I remember when I was doing that," and they remember, and it's just such a cool thing to do, to say that you're creating something that people can enjoy.
You wrote the script and you directed.
I wrote the script for that, and we actually, because of, like I said, because of all the mistakes, the things that were going on, we didn't really even have a script. What I did was I drew on paper what I wanted everybody to do. Yeah, but that was just my way of getting the story told, getting things done.
But what is important here is that you started. You started your journey. You started to fulfill that passion that you had inside of you to become a film writer. And to me, that is what is important. You did not just sit down, but you started, and you started pretty much on your own, using your own creativity. If I'm right, if I'm reading what you're telling me right, right? You used your creativity. So what did you learn from that in concise terms? What did you learn from that first production that you took into the others?
So from that first production, I think my greatest takeaway was to tell a story. Like, think of the I don't want to say think of the money first or think of the budget, but make sure that you're telling a story. When you're writing the story, you have in mind that this can be created with the means that I have. I think somebody had told me earlier, if you wrote a story, if you think that you can tell it without any money, then that's the best kind of story. If you don't need any kind of funding or to talk to anybody, or you don't have to kind of jump through hurdles to make this, then when you do have those things, then you can use them to the best of your ability. It's basically to say, use your resources the way you have it. Just use what you have. Once you're getting the story across, it's going to connect to the audience regardless.
And getting that story across, you learning that, I think that formed the base for your subsequent film, right? So walk me through the stories that you came up with.
Okay, so after that, I think, if I remember clearly, I had joined, the Galen University was doing a film production course, crash course for the summer, and I entered that. And one of our tasks was every week he wanted to see, I think he was the one that told me that, every week he wanted us to create some kind of video. If it's not, it doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds long, 10 minutes long, it doesn't matter. He just wants you to make something, because his idea was, as long as you're creating and as long as you're keeping your ideas fresh and as long as you're keeping your inspiration, you can strive in the film industry. And so we were just throwing stuff together at that point. And he said it doesn't matter if it's something that you're super proud of or if it's something that you just made because you think it's funny. So we would do stuff like we would put markers, draw stuff on tape and put it on bananas to have faces, and just move them around stop motion. It doesn't matter. Just walk outside, say hi to people, get their reaction, stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Just make something. That was the point of that course, and that kind of that taught me as well that you can kind of there's a story that you can create out of anything. There's a book where the entirety of a story, it's a whole novel, probably 20 pages, 20 chapters long, I think. And the entire story takes place during a guy's escalator ride, 2 seconds. So all of this goes on within the span of 2 seconds in reality.
Now, these films, the first film that you did, let me go back there a little bit. That first film was how long? How long was it?
The first one was, I think that was about, that was probably a minute or two long because of the time constraints and all the problems that we arise. It's just salvaging. We were just salvaging whatever we could from it, and we made something I think about 3 minutes long.
And these are the course at Galen. That's the one that really brought out solidified you and moved you forward to do more.
I would say that one really helped me when it came to just making stuff and seeing what works, and then taking what you learned from what you are making. And so yeah, I think that's one of the things that I've also done. I learn a lot from the stuff that I make.
And then what other creation? What other movie have you made movies yet?
I haven't made a feature film yet. I've been working on one. I've been working on it too long, I would say. The script is almost finished actually, and I'm really, really proud of it. But hopefully that gets made. I now have when I was younger, I wanted to jump in and make a feature film and make something that would be in theaters and stuff. And I realized that I can't do that without any experience. I think that the best thing to do now is what I'm doing is working on these short films and just making them as solid as I can. Just making something that people haven't seen before. And if they know that, even if it's simple stories, I want to make it in a way where nobody else can make it, something that's unique.
Yeah, listening to you, Gather, you write your own scripts. You're not just a producer, you're actually a creator, basically, because you create your scripts and you produce your films, right? Mm-hmm. And you said you did a little acting too. Tell me about the acting part.
The acting, so I'm doing the acting classes with Mr. Jamie Noble. He's an actor he's a foreign actor, but he's doing courses at the University of Belize currently. I think today might actually be the last session, but he's been really good. He's been teaching really well and really opening our minds when it comes to getting the idea of acting, not in a like thinking outside the box when it comes to your body language. Creating characters. These are things that I actually thought that it was the job of the writer or the job of the director. It's actually the job of the actor. They're the ones that portray these characters. So what Mr. Noble has done was he's allowed us to create characters that are lived in. They can really exist within our world. And that's something that I really learned from his course, and I really appreciate him for teaching us.
Could you give an example of some of these characters you're talking about?
So when I say characters, I mean any character that you're working on when it comes to your film or your play, or even if it's a radio production.
Live or dead or animal? Or
yes. So one of the humans, actually one of the exercises that we've done, we did it a few days ago, where you have to think of an animal. Think of any animal. And then he wants you to portray the animal. So you're going to pretend to be this animal for a little while. And slowly you're going to transform the animal. While you're acting, you're going to transform back into a human. And the idea of that was to in his terms, he was saying that we know animals have certain characteristics that we associate with them. So, an elephant might be big and strong, but strength is something that's found in an elephant, but it's also found in something like a gorilla or something. But that's more strong and agile. So there's certain, or a cat might be proud, or these animals have their own personality. So what you can do is you can take these characters that you're given, and you can, even if it's something that's far from what your personality is. If you're a shy person and you have a character to play who's more out there, you can think of something like a chicken, something that runs around and looks all around, and something like that. And you can take these animals and take these personality traits, and you can add them to your character to get more of a to kind of mold them into something that you can better reflect.
Tillett is in the process of producing a musical based on the trial of Nora Parham, the only woman to have been executed in Belize. He also spoke about the growth of the film industry in Belize. We will have those comments after this break to hear from our partners, Shell Belize Limited, Honorable Kevin Bernard, the Barry, and the Belize Tourism Board.
In Orange Walk East, we are serious about serving our people. In Santa Marta, we have renovated and upgraded the community park, handed over equipment to maintain the park and cemetery, provided lights to the football field, support sports in the village, conducted maintenance of the water system, and carried out a continuous upgrading of the village roads. Honorable Kevin Bernard and the PUP committed to the people of Orange Walk East, delivering on Plan Belize.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
Shell V-Power with 3 times more cleaning and friction reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
This no right. Garbage in the streets, creating dump sites, throwing the trash on the highway. We not fit do that. Only we could stop this. Each of we play an important part in protecting our beautiful country. This that we believe. Respect it, cherish it, love it.
It don't matter what part of the jewelry come from. You that you and me that me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
In our conversation, you said you did several short features, right? Maybe you can walk me through a few of these features and if they are available for viewing, and where can I view these features?
So many of the short films that I made, the one before, they're on YouTube. They are. So I actually thought of creating an actual channel where I can show my filmmaking journey better, and so I've set that up now, and that is something that I'm going to be working on in the future. That I'm going to be continuously working on. My name's Cameron Tillett, and so the YouTube channel itself is called Cam Tillett, so it's easier to find. And so that's where you can find the latest short films and whatever else I'm doing.
Well, how many have done, Cameron?
I've only done I've done small projects, but the only one I would count as a short film is one so far, Chasing Waves.
Chasing Waves. What's the duration of that film?
So that is actually much longer than anything that I've done. That one is 17 minutes long. So that's a short film.
What's the story behind Chasing Waves? Since that's the longest one you've done. What's the storyline behind it?
So the idea of that is the story is about a man who is drowning, and he's saved by a crew of two sailors, and however, things get very, I guess you can say, dramatic or drastic when the guy finds out the people that saved him aren't going back to land. They don't have any interest in going back to land until they find a mermaid, which as you and I know, doesn't exist.
I mean, they will never go back to land.
Yeah. So the entire story is about him trying to plead to these people, hey, I think it's time we should go back, and them saying no, we will have to continue, and as chaos essentially ensues as everybody else goes up, as um, needs and necessities come into play.
And what was the reception like for that? I understand you have won a prize for that, no?
Yes, actually, I submitted that into the Belize Film Festival 2021, and it won the most notable Belizean film award.
And that's this award here that you probably showed me a while ago. This Chasing Waves, right? It says Best Notable Belizean Film, Belize International Film Festival 2021. Chasing Waves. I heard about it, but I have not seen it yet.
You should see it. It's on YouTube, and you can see it. It's at the same channel that I mentioned before.
Definitely look for it,
Yes.
especially after talking with you.
Yes.
So after that 17 minutes film that won you this award, now where are you going next with your film career?
So I'm actually currently working on a story. I'm working on a script on a short film, and hopefully, but unlike Chasing Waves, that was I would say animated, but it was mostly pictures and still images like a slideshow, rather than animation. I want to make something in live action. I want to try my hand in directing actual people and to get a story done. And so that's the plan for the next short film. But in the meantime, I'm actually working on a novelization of Chasing Waves that I've already completed and hopefully can be published soon. There was a lot of, since I was a few years ago, there was a lot of stuff that I left out in the actual story, in the actual short film. There's a lot of ideas that I had that I wasn't able to actually put in because of maybe time constraint or budget constraints. And so this novel, it works as something like a director's cut. This was the actual plan for what this film was to be about, and I hope that people enjoy that. So, and apart from those two things, I'm also working on a musical.
Musical? You mean you are a musician as well? I mean, you compose music?
I would say, that, yeah. It's a musical, a stage play. This one is going to be done in a stage play.
With songs composed by you?
With songs, with all original songs, lyrics and the music behind it, and it's going to be about the life. Well, it's going to be about the Nora Parham trial of 1963.
That's very interesting. I'm sure a lot of us will look forward to the release of that. You know, so that means you have to become familiar with the story, right? And so you can write a script around it, right?
Yes.
And the songs that go in with it, and the musical compositions, the musical scores, they come from.
Yes.
Or
So.
you have somebody that helps you musically or with the scores.
Yes, so actually, it's me and my girlfriend that are making it, and we've actually done extensive research on the case. We've also reached out to the family, so it's something that they know that we're working on, and some of them actually message us and say, hey, some of them ask us like, hey, how's it going? Like, can we hear any of the music soon? And I'm actually proud to say that music will be coming out very soon for that. It's going to be done sung through. So instead of hearing lines and dialogue, each song we've created it in a way where each song will have a transition that brings it into the other song, and it's going to be following her life from the trial and out, and being in jail, and of course talking about the Queen's pardoning of, well, the Queen, the letter that they sent to the Queen, and just but it's also done in a way where everybody is humanized. I know one of the things that we tend to think of of history in black and white, and so things weren't as simple as we think that they are. And so this story, hopefully the way that we tell it, people can understand that this woman isn't a myth. She isn't urban legend. She isn't just something that you read anymore. She was an actual person, as well as Ketchel and everybody. They were actual people that lived and breathed in our time, and that they should be respected. They all should be respected. Their story should be respected and understand. And we should be honest and have an honest conversation of what history is and how people were.
So this production that you're doing, the Nora Parham production that you're talking about, will be with live actors on the stage, or how will you film it? Would it be going to the scenes or reenacting the scenes, or just a musical on stage?
Yes. So this project, that is probably going to be the biggest project that I've done ever in my lifetime. But so far, that's going to be the biggest project that I've been working on. So it's going to be, we want it to be something where audiences can come and sit down. So it's going to be a theater kind of, just like a theater, a stage play. But the music that we've made so far, everything, we want it to be grand as well. We want people to sit down and say, we want people to sit down, and from the first note that you hear, or the first song, you know that you're in for something that you haven't seen in this country. And we want you to leave thinking, man, I really wish, I want to see more of this in the country. And that's something that I want to do. I want to be able to bring stuff in to make things that Belizeans can be happy about. Belizeans can be proud to say, this is a Belizean production. This is a Belizean play. This is a Belizean story. This is a Belizean film. And this is a story that I like, that I can enjoy. And I actually want to show people it.
And it's with live actors, like you're saying.
Yes, we're going to have live actors, live singing.
So I take it listening to you about, talking to me about you're chasing waves, right? Chasing waves. This featured animation.
Yes, so the chase.
Animation, chasing waves.
It counts as animation, yes. This one actually had a pretty tedious process. To speak on Chasing Waves, it was made actually using a process, an entire process that went from, it started out as 3D, then it goes into 2D, and then it actually comes, so I will say, each frame is, instead of having, all right, sorry, to explain animation a little bit, animation is pictures upon pictures moving so fast that they move. So me doing this is 25, this would be 24 pages of paper. And so rather than doing that and having to do every single drawing for that character, what we did was create a scene and create a painted image of a scene and use that as the story. And it's almost like you're flipping through a book, an illustrated book, instead of a moving picture. And so it's a still image film. And the way we made it was we created each frame or each page in 3D using light and using the computer to generate light and authentic light and reflections and all this. After that, we print out these pages and we paint on top of them with acrylic paint and watercolor. And then we scan them into the printer, into the computer, and then we digitally add extra details to them that may have been needed. And then after that, once you have your images, you put them into Premiere or you put them into whatever video editing software you have, and that's when you layer the music and the dialogue and everything. That's when everything comes together, and that's how Chasing Waves was made. So as simple as it looks, it was a lot of work. It was quite a ton of work. But of course, for the people who are watching and the people who are interested, just know it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be uh, as grueling as that, as time-consuming as that was. That was the way that we did it because that's how we felt. That would have lent to the feel of the film.
So the point I was trying to get after too is from animation, which is something that you have total control over. You're going out to live action on a stage or wherever. You're reenacting anything live, where anything can happen. You know, in other words, your actors have to be on the ball. You have to make sure you get the right voices. You have to. So it's very tedious to put especially a musical production together, ain't it?
Yes, but at the same time, I think it's even more. I think it's
A good challenge.
It's a good challenge. I think that the mistakes that you make are, I think it humanizes things too. I feel like I just love I love the mistakes sometimes. I love when you can see when I love the idea of somebody sitting down and seeing somebody probably miss their cue or something. That's a little joke for them, you know, when they can see an actor dance and actually make like maybe slip or something. That's a little joke that they can leave saying, "Oh, I remember seeing that person do this," but it's just something that you remember from the film or from the play or whatever you're watching. These things, they're not bad. You don't have to take them as negatives towards it. They actually enhance your film sometimes, or they enhance what you're doing.
Now, what about the casting? Who's doing the casting for this major production that you're working on?
So we haven't started casting as yet, but we know that we need quite a handful of talent for it. Our idea is to not only have the characters that are played, but we also want to have dances for it too. So we were having choir. Some of the songs that we have choirs in it, which is something that might sound scary. Some of the songs have choirs and have harmonies that are layered on top of each other in a way where everything combines, and it's just something to be more cinematic. And so we know that we need to have a handful of people on the sides that are also bringing these elements into the songs, just to give the audience and to give them a feel of something of some magic, you know, just to give them a magical feeling.
That sounds like a major production you're working on. In all honesty, I'm sitting here listening to you, but I'm trying to fathom in my mind the amount of work that will go into making a major production like that. And I think it might be one of the first times I would think that I see a person as young as you attempting to take on such a great challenge, you know, putting all this together. What anticipated duration do you have for this film?
Wow. So that one is actually, like I said, it's the biggest thing that I've done. I think by the end of it, we've already worked on, so far we are working on, the way we made it was we created the story first, and then we broke them down into these different songs. So we have about, I think we broke it down into 17 songs that also have like slight,
17 songs.
yeah, 14 or 17 to 14. And we have 2 acts. So one half is the first act, the second act is the other half of the songs. And they have we're thinking of having an intermission. So the idea is the play is going to be about an hour and 15 minutes of straight music. About an hour and 30 minutes of straight music.
That's what I thought. That it has to be something around that 90-minute production. So that's a major production you're talking about. But it was also a challenge for some young people too, who many years ago in my time created a film, a story named Jesus Christ Superstar, which is today still is a major musical, you know, and still runs very successfully. So I wish you'd see the same success that they have seen with Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes. So as challenging as it is, I think it's fun. I find it fun. The idea of doing this fun. I love what I do. I love working on things. I love working on art, and I don't know. I feel like if even as big as it is, as grand as the idea is, if we can get it done, that sends a that sends just a huge message to all Belizeans, young and old. That shows them just what they can do, because it's not just about me anymore when it comes to making these things. It's about everybody, and it's about, I want to see more filmmakers, I want to see more playwrights, I want to see more novelists, I want to see all these things. So if I have to be the first one to do it, or I have to be the first one to bring this idea across, then that's how it is. I just want more people to be around, and it doesn't matter if they're making stuff that I enjoy or not. I just want them to make art in Belize.
I'm so interested in what you're saying that I want to ask you another question here. Will it be live acting in between the songs? In other words, will there be some drama in between the songs and then the song? You know, like, okay, you know, the court action and what have you, or will it all be reflected in song?
So for the Nora musical, everything will be reflected in song. So
Everything in
it's
song.
sung. It's
No,
yeah.
no live acting in between.
So the way
leading up
we've
to the
written
song.
it, we've written each song in a way where some songs might have like a line of dialogue thrown in, where maybe people will sing, and then the music's gonna die down really quick, and somebody's gonna say like a joke really quick, just with their voice, and then it's gonna come back, and then, or maybe in between while some music is playing, somebody's gonna have a quick one-on-one discussion with somebody to talk about something, and then they quickly go back into singing. So stuff like that. That's how we get, like, when it comes to writing. I mean, if we're in a struggle, like the way we're written it is, if it's too easy, then we're not gonna do it. So when it comes to that, we've only added words if it can enhance what we're doing. So if we can find a way to make it rhyme and make it work in a song, then we're gonna do that, and then that's gonna be it. So that's how we've written it.
I'm looking forward to that, and I want, let me shake your hand, man, because I think for a young 24-year-old, you know, to be taking on something like this, it's commendable, right? It's commendable. I'm very proud to have been able to even talk to you, in all honesty, and because I wish other young people would take an example. We could take an example. We could learn from what you are saying, right? Because I can sense the passion that you have for what you're doing, and to me, that's where it all starts. You know, it starts with the passion that we have. We develop a passion for things when we are young, and we carry it through. We don't give up on our dreams, so what would be your message along those lines?
So my message would be for everybody, not even people my age or young and old. I think that it starts with support. I'm really eternally grateful to say that I had parents who supported me for every idea that I had. It doesn't matter how small or big it was. My parents said, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure that whatever you do, you're the best at doing it. And that was their way of teaching me. And so that's something that I do. Everything that I do it to the best of my abilities. I don't take the shortcut for anything. And that's something that I keep. Also keep good people around you. You know, it's really good to have good supportive parents, but not everybody does have that. So if you can't have that, have supportive friends. Have people that are going to help you, that want to see you do good and want to help you do good. All of my friends support my films. I support all of my friends with whatever they're doing. They don't do film, but whatever they do, I support them. I wish the best for everybody, and that's how our circle grows. That's how everybody does well. That's how everybody succeeds, and that's how the country succeeds.
You mentioned your mom and your dad and your siblings. Let's talk a bit about them. Tell me about your mom. Tell me about your mom, your dad, your siblings. And if you want to go into some of the friends, well, then we could do that too.
So their names, you mean?
Yes, of course. We'll get to know it. You don't mind. Mom and dad, let's start there.
So I am the son of Patrick and Pauline Tillett, and they did a lot for us growing up. I'm really grateful to have had. I don't. I have the best parents ever. That's how I like to say it. I have the best parents. I'm sorry to everybody else. Uh, um, they've from when we were younger, they saw that we were interested in art or interested in math or science and whatever we were interested in, they jumped on it. Even if we even expressed something like, "Oh, I would want to learn an instrument," the next month or two, they would bring something. Oh, I heard you say you want to learn an instrument. Here's a piano. Here's something you could learn. You could learn to play this. You can. They just facilitated whatever interest we had, and now they're reaping the benefits from it. Yeah.
And the brothers and sisters?
Brothers and sisters, Chris, Katie, and Khalil, all of them. I love all of them so much. They are the first to see. They're the first to see the films before you guys are. They're the ones that tell me. They're the ones that tell me that I don't. That this is good or this is horrible. I think you need to go back to the drawing board. They're the ones that. They're the first advice. They're the first advisors. And I really appreciate their advice a lot because they're the ones that I shop my ideas to. And whatever sticks, they're the ones that like, hey, this is I like this idea. This is the one that you should go with. They're the ones that add ideas to my ideas, and that's how we develop it into something bigger. And when things are low, when things aren't working, they're the ones that say, cheer up, you have it. You know what you're doing. I know that you can do it. This is how you can do it. Get back up. You fell down, get back up and try again. They're the ones that do all of that for me. And I really can't express just how much I appreciate having amazing brothers and one sister.
At this time in your life, are you still going to the university or have you have graduated?
I'm actually finished. I have my bachelor's, my associate's and bachelor's degree in information technology. I'm going to be doing my master's in a few. I want to do my master's in a few. So, but until then, I want to work in film. I want to do amazing things in film. I just want to continue creating till I'm gone.
Okay. Well, let's look at the state of the film industry in Belize right now. In your mind, where's the film industry at?
You would actually, in my opinion, it's interesting to see. I didn't think that I would be able to see it, but from being 17 and going to these film workshops to being 24 now and actually making stuff myself, it's really interesting to see that the film industry has grown. I was actually surprised. In retrospect, it has grown to be, it's going to be, or I can see in the future, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, actually. Just in the acting class that I'm in, there's 20 people in there. Okay. Yeah. And in the film production class, there were about 30 people. Wow. So there's people that I know that are actually thinking of going to study acting, going to study film. Now, there was a guy that came back. He studied film in Canada. There's a guy that's going to study film in Hungary. There's a guy that's going to study film in Barbados, in the Bahamas, in Trinidad. They want to do these things, and now with what the Film Commission is doing, they've made it so this is a possibility for people. And I'm really excited for the future. I hope that I see it coming soon. In my opinion, Belizeans should be very excited because they're going to be seeing Belizean film done on a grand scale. And I mean, you're going to see films that are going to be in theaters in other countries. You're going to see films that are so well made. Hopefully in the future, like sooner rather than later, you're going to see films that are contenders for best foreign films at the Oscars. I believe that you're going to see, with the people that I've met and hearing their ideas and what they want to do and what they want to accomplish, these guys are going to, there are some Oscar winners in this country. Whether we know it or whether they know it as yet, there are Oscar winners in this country, there are Grammy winners in this country, and I can't wait for when they introduce themselves to us.
And then, would you say that there's no lack of material in this country as well around which to write film scripts?
When it comes to film scripts, I think that people just need to get scrappy, and if you have to do it with paper, if you have to do it there, yes, there are of course software that you can buy, but everybody in the world, everywhere in the world there are
The
people.
original, right?
Yeah. So you can find stuff that are for free, then you can use that and work with that. Like I said, even if you have a story and you don't have time to write a script, do what I did. Draw what you want the characters to do, show it to the actors, say, hey, I want you to jump, I want you to do this, I want you to roll around, I want you to do this. They will get it, and just make it an experience. It's all an experience, it's all fun. At the same time, you make something that people can enjoy. Something that that my acting teacher told us yesterday actually was, there are people in this world that they are down, they don't have the means, they aren't happy. There are so many problems that they have. When they take the time out to look at what you do, it means a lot to them, and you have to make something that they can enjoy. You have to make something that takes them away from everything that they are experiencing at the time. You have to create this fantasy where they can live in for a little while, even if it's just for 10 minutes, if it's for an hour, it doesn't matter. You have to make something that they can escape from.
When we come back, Cameron Tillett has served as the president of the Rotary Club of Belmopan. He details some of the club's accomplishments under his stewardship. We will have that after a word from our partners, Shell Belize Limited, Honorable Kevin Bernard, the Barry, and the Belize Tourism Board.
In Orange Walk East, we are serious about serving our people. In Santa Marta, we have renovated and upgraded the community park, handed over equipment to maintain the park and cemetery, provided lights to the football field, support sports in the village, conducted maintenance of the water system, and carried out a continuous upgrading of the village roads. Honorable Kevin Bernard and the PUP committed to the people of Orange Walk East, delivering on Plan Belize.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
Shell V-Power with 3 times more cleaning and friction reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
This no right. Garbage in the streets, creating dump sites, throwing the trash on the highway. We not fit do that. Only we could stop this. Each of we play an important part in protecting our beautiful country. This that we believe. Respect it, cherish it, love it.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You that you and me that me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
You mentioned just now about acting. That means that you're taking acting classes. So that's where the being not only the producer and the writer and the originator comes from, but that won't be all. You want to act and star in your own films as well? That's where you're heading to?
Acting and starring, that's something that I feel I might be a little bit too nervous for. I might be a little bit too shy for. But I feel like if I have to, or I feel like it's something that's interesting that I can jump into as well. And if anybody has films that they need an actor for, I don't mind jumping in and doing my thing for them. And I just know I'm going to be shy for it, but I don't mind doing it.
Where are you taking acting lessons? Where are the lessons being held?
So that's being done at the University of Belize currently, but it's just for a limited time, a limited amount of time. I think today was the last session. Yeah, but the film commission and like I said, the film commission and the industry in this country, they are working towards making these things happen. So I see more and more of these sessions coming. They're going to be done in the future, definitely.
Way back in 2007, I published my autobiography, and I'm about to update it and maybe relaunch the book sometime in the future. Do you see yourself taking a book that is written by a Belizean and making a movie out of it?
Book. I would actually love that. One of the things that I was thinking was, I was thinking the other day, I was telling my sister, I would love to see something like Becca Lamb done, right? Like, remember how,
That's a
like,
novel.
like a novel, like a Belizean novel. I would love to see these stories be told. So the chance to adapt something into an actual feature film, just like what we've done with Nora into musical, turning somebody's life into film, where even especially if they can sit down and watch it and go, oh, I remember that part of my life. That sounds like an experience. That sounds like something I would love to do. So maybe I might do the Mr. Rene Villanueva film.
Well, you
Maybe.
see, we're striking a deal here right now. You see, on camera, right? Right. Well, I've certainly enjoyed my conversation here with you, and you're certainly an inspiration to other young people like yourself, right? You know, that you can follow your dreams, and the sky is the limit, right? In what you can do. So yeah, that's I'm proud of you for sharing your life with us. Now, Chasing Waves is one award, and I notice you have two other little awards here, one big and one small. These are what?
So apart from being a filmmaker, I'm also a rotor actor.
That's what I notice here.
Yes. So part of the Rotary Club and the Rotaract Club, I've done many things with the Rotaract Club of Belmopan. I am a two-time past president of the Rotaract Club of Belmopan, and last year I was the assistant regional district representative.
Yeah.
So that's one of the highest titles here in Rotaract, Belize, and I have my pin from that actually.
You represented Rotary internationally, Rotaract internationally at different district
On a district level,
conference
yes.
at a district level.
So
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so this is a pin that signifies that I'm a part of Rotaract Belize. I can show you if you want.
And as a part of Rotaract, you're actually a part of Rotary too. You're actually a Rotarian because Rotaractors are counted as Rotarians.
Yes.
And as an old Rotary governor, I should know that, but this is a beautiful pin. Yeah. The toucan is there, the flag,
And here is my
and Rotaract, and the AR, yeah, 21, 22, right? What made you become a Rotaractor?
So it's actually a funny story. Like I said, I have really supportive parents, but I also have a mother that wants her children. She loves it when her children are in extracurricular things. So she's a host as well on a talk show, and Rotaractors came one day to speak to her, and she found out when was their meeting day and time, and she sent me and my brother to that meeting. But we enjoyed it, and we had a lot of fun speaking to everybody and talking to everybody. Their energy was so good. I ended up staying. Both of us ended up staying, and I was the AR last year, and my brother's the AR now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're just adapted to Rotary. It's such a beautiful movement. It's such a great movement. It does so much good. You were twice president. What were some of the highlights of your presidential years?
The biggest project that I did while I was president of Rotaract, it was helping two of my members spearhead a project where we did the first few renovations of the George Brown Park. This was long before the actual full renovation that they recently did. We were the first people to start beautifying that park, and it was really rewarding to see after we painted the park, to see people bringing their children. That's when people started to bring their children more often to come and play. It didn't have light and all the things that it had now, but we were one of the first people to start to get people into the community and start playing and using it.
How would you describe your feeling of being a Rotaractor? How would you translate that to me?
It's a really rewarding feeling, I would say. I meet a lot of amazing people, and there are people that support the films that I do as well. Everything comes back. They support everything that I do. I support everything that they do outside of Rotaract, inside of Rotaract. They love it, and it's just nice being around a group of people that want to uplift each other and want to uplift the community, and the idea that I think Rotaract is what gave me that idea that I can do anything that I want if I put my mind to it. So the things that we've done, the Nora musical doesn't even look that scary anymore compared to what we've been doing when it comes to these projects sometimes.
And this other one here this one says conference. Oh, okay. It's a district conference in Belize.
Yes.
All right. Tell me about this one here. It said, without you, our 24th bi-district conference would not be possible. Presented to Cameron Tillett.
Yes, so this was actually early in my time being a Rotaractor. I think this was my second year. I've been a Rotaractor for 6 years, actually. So this is my second year. In Rotaract, there's conferences every year, and this one was done in Belize. So all the Rotaractors in the district, 4250, which we have, Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, as well as the other district, which covers the rest of Central America, they came to Belize, and we had to house them in a hotel, and we had to do this really big thing. It was a huge effort, and everybody knew that I was studying IT at the time, and they needed my help when it came to creating graphics for the posters and whatever leaflets we need to have and the agendas, and that's what I helped with. And I really manned the promotional aspect of this conference. And so I didn't even expect to get this, but they gave it to me just to thank me for everything that I did for it to help them.
That's very good. What year was this conference again?
This was in 2019. 2019.
That was quite recent, yeah. 2019. So congratulations again on being an outstanding Rotaractor. Now, beside writing plays, drama, studying, and all the things that you described to me earlier, playing music, composing musical scores, and being a Rotaractor, what else do you do? Do you have a full-time job?
Yes, I do have a full-time job. So it's just time management, juggling everything together, juggling everything and making everything work. But my workplace, they support me with things. When they see this, they're probably going to tell me about it. They're probably going to tell me that they saw me on TV and they're so proud of me. I'm really blessed to be around amazing people all the time.
Can I ask where you work?
I work at the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another sensitive position. Yeah. So again, congratulations, Cameron, and where you're heading and where you are with your life. I can see you have your goals well defined where you want to go with all of this, right?
Thank you so much, and it was amazing it was a great time speaking with you. Thank you for the Belizean audience that are watching, and even the people outside that maybe want to get into film or want to do something, but they might not have people. This is just something to show them that anything's possible. This is called Blender. This is a software called Blender, and basically it's free. It's online. It's free, and the Blender team, they've worked it in a way where this can be downloaded on almost any computer. So you don't have to have the fanciest, most expensive laptop in the world. Mine is relatively cheap, and I could still run this properly. So as you can see, it starts out with a cube, but all of this is a 3D model. So this is just a 3D space, and I'm going to make something really quick for you just to show that you can do something. So we start with a square, and I'm going to turn this into a character for you. So of course you have your different modes that you have. You can see we have a solid mode, and we can also give light to the scene. And one of the interesting things about this software is that it works on realistic light. Okay. So this light that I have here, it acts as a sun. It can act like a regular light, but if I want to, it can be the sun, and I can lift it, I can move it around, and as you can see, this box gets the colors changed. I can make the sun be whatever color I want, so I can make it be yellow, I can make it be blue if I want. Purple, blue, green, doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want with it. I have this camera here, and if I want, I can point it at that cube, and as you can see, I would have a scene. So think of any 3D movie you've seen, Pixar, DreamWorks, it doesn't matter. This is basically the fundamental idea of what they do, regardless. So everything that they open up when they go in, this is what they see on their screens when they're working and they're making all these films. So it's just a way for them to see, for our audience to see, anything is possible with the advance of technology. Everything is in the palm of your hands. Anything is either, if it's not on your phone, it's on your laptop. So you can make whatever you want, and you can create anything. All you need is a little bit of time, to add to your skill, to create make your skill level go up, and just an imagination. Somebody said recently, they're an artist, they're an animator. They said if you can draw it, you can make it.
So once you think it, you draw it and you make it.
Yep. So any story that you want to tell, you can tell it.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with me. I mean, I certainly learned a lot just now, just by looking at that, about the generation of computer characters and how they're made. So thank you so much. Now, let us look into that crystal ball they call the future, right? Because this show talks about knowledge of the past, impacting the present, and looking at the future, right? And shaping the future, right? Because you need to know your past, your present, live your present, and shape your future. What's the future for you?
So the future, it's hopefully, if everything works the way I want it to, if everything falls into place, the future is going to be very exciting. Like I said, I'm going to stay as
This will be your life, right?
This is my life. So I'm gonna stay a rotoractor as long as I can be, as long as they'll allow me to. And
30, you'll become a Rotarian.
And at 30, I'll be a Rotarian. Yes.
But Rotaractors are also Rotarians. But anyway, go ahead.
So we have that, and I'm gonna be doing film. Like I said, I have the book coming out. The novelization of Chasing Waves is coming out very soon. Almost finished with that. I have the short film that I'm working on. The next short film that I hopefully I can win another one of these awards. And then, of course, that big project, that big grand project, the Nora the musical. Okay. Once I feel like that is the goal at the moment, to finish that musical. I feel like once that musical is finished, I just want to see Belize's their reaction to it. I just want to see what they're gonna think of it. I hope that they like it. I hope that it's something that they see and they can be inspired by to make stuff.
So could you see the film industry in Belize really on a worldwide stage, with Belizean actors being professional, living off their acting careers, and your filmmakers like yourself making films and our films in different markets throughout the world? And do you see that sort of thing?
Yes, I actually see. There are actually Belizeans right now that we don't know of who are in films, who are in. They are actors and living in. They're just not living here in Belize. But from what I see, I think that we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna have our own set of Belizean celebrities. We're gonna have people in Belize that are actors that we know of, or are in some sort of art field that we know of, and they're talented and we want them, and they can be in any film possible. And like I said, I feel like Belize has future Oscar winners, future Grammy winners, future Tony winners, Emmy winners. We have people here that are going to go so far, and it's very exciting to see, and I hope that we're ready.
As we sit here, is there anything that you want to get across that I perhaps did not ask you or did not bring up?
I think that we've spoken a lot. I'm really excited for the future. I'm really excited to showcase my art. I was very shy before about talking about my art and trying to get and showing it to people. But I think now, as we move forward, I'm really excited to get people to see it.
And I notice your brother stands very close to you as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit more in closing.
He is amazing. He's the first one that I show. He's the right hand guy. He's the advisor. He's the one that I send. He's the one that my sister is the good. I would say, my sister is the good. I wouldn't say good cop. I would say she's the one that's gonna tell me. She loves everything that I do. It doesn't matter. I'll show her something, and she'll tell me, "This is amazing. Everybody's gonna love this. I can't wait." He's the one that's gonna say, nah, this isn't working. He's the one that tells me the truth. It doesn't matter. Brutally honest, but always has very insightful critiques, always has very insightful advice, and always knows just what he has a really good taste of what needs to be done or what I should add towards scripts. And he actually thinks of stuff that I don't think about, and that's what I like. And my sister, she's, of course I love her too. She's the one she has a very good artistic side. I would say she's an even better artist than me, but she's the one that, she has really good idea on the style that things should be done in.
Remind us of the names.
Chris, Katie.
Chris, Katie.
Yeah, and then my brother, he's a musician as well. My younger brother, Khalil, I would call him a musician. He does a lot of music. He helped me when I was making music for Chasing Wave, actually.
So you work really close together, and that is good. A family, it's the family ties. That's what I wanted to bring out. How important it is for the family to stay together and look out for each other. And of course, mom and dad are always there and involved in what you're doing, from what you told me earlier on.
Yes.
All right. So, the important message that I like to get across at all times is to find the passion that's deep inside of you and bring it out, regardless of what it is, right? And be the best that you can be at what you love, right? Because once you find what you love, then you don't work a day in your life, because I'm sure you have found what you love. You love filmmaking. Yes, you might be working to make a living right now, but sooner or later, I guess you might end up going into filmmaking altogether as the industry grows. We don't have that big enough industry in Belize, but one day we will, right? Especially with people like you involved, right? So, yes, find what you love, keep doing what you love, and excel in what you love doing, right? Because it's all about love, right?
Yes. Like I think it's Steve Jobs that said that, right? Once you find something that you love, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, and he was right on the money with that. I don't feel like I'm working at all when I'm doing film or when I'm working on these projects that I have in mind. None of it feels like work. Even as hard as they seem or as challenged as they mean, it's all fun at the end of the day.
That's right. That's why at our radio station, our company, our organization, Love FM, we, right, recognize that you have choices. You can choose to go in whatever direction you want to go, but you can also choose to love and to do what you love. And once you choose to love and to do what you love, you know what we say? We usually turn around and look at the camera and say, Belize and beyond, thanks for choosing love. Belize Watch. Knowledge of the past, impacting the present, building the future.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from.